I realized that I've never run through all of Jett's skills. Usually it's just reinforcement of what we're working on that I send you. So today I'm doing it with all the training dogs that I have on the docket today. I wanted to run through all the training skills that he knows and that we work on. One of the key things, fuck a duck. Leave it. Oh my God. Hey guys, so I realized that I've never actually run through all of Jett's skills with you on a video. It's something that I'm going to be doing honestly today for all the training dogs. Usually what I send is like a reinforcement of, hey, we worked on place and this is how we reinforce thresholds, or hey, we worked on leash commands or public access or things along those lines. So yes, you know there's streets there. So what I wanted to do today is send you a recap of everything that he knows, so that way you have kind of the foundational skills, but then also what specific service task-based skills we're working on as well. So the first one that we're doing in regards to foundational skills is name game. So name game is where his name in and of itself is loaded as a command. So he's behind me. I'm going to say his name only once. Jett! He's supposed to sit and look. Now, a caveat here is if you're okay with him sitting at a 45-degree angle, you can reward this without eating my whole hand, thank you. Saying, yes, go boy, and then off you go to something else. But if you want him right smack dab in the middle, right in front of you, then that's what we can shape the behavior to, no, I need you right here. Now, when you do this, it's teaching his name as a focus point. So it's not Jett come, it's not Jett leave it, it's not anything else like that. It's just Jett. And when he hears it, it's, oh, I need to key in that something's going to happen and I need to check in with you. We ran through this last night a little bit, but this is where you can have the whole family part of the process and play like monkey in the middle with Jett. All of you have a couple treats, you scatter throughout the house, and you take turns going, Jett, good boy, and then rewarding. If he struggles in coming to you or listening, that's where you can make some kissing noises or to help get his attention. And then if he comes in front of you and he doesn't sit, that's where you can tell him, and step into his space. That body pressure is like, hey, what are you supposed to do for that focus? So loading his name as a command called name game is one. So Jett, he hears Jett, he has to come and sit and look at you. Apologies. The other command that he has besides like a sit or a down, good boy. Now, one thing I noticed with sit is you guys have kind of a range of hand up, hand like this, treat like this. What may help Jett the most is if having that hand up, you don't necessarily need to have a flat hand, but if you have like a hand like you have a treat in there, of just, hey, I need you in, is going to help him in that capacity. The down he has, sometimes he likes to be like, I don't want to do a down. And then you just, no, dude, I need you down. Down. Good. One thing I have noticed about this cute kid is that he likes to put his paw on your foot, like, I'm going to hold your hand while I do this. Good. Just an observation. Yes, good boy. The other commands that he has, so this is a part of service training, but it is also part of body focus. Flat hand out, you're going to offer it to his nose. He's going to nose bump it. Yes. I call this a touch command. Touch. Yes, good boy. And you can do left and right hand, but you can start making it a game of will he follow the hand? Yes, good boy. You can also start doing it. Let me get a little closer to the camera. You can also start doing it above his head. Touch. Jett. And he has to figure out, how do I get to this hand? Come on. Jett. Touch. How about this one? Touch. And when he's offering a command, something else, but it's not what you asked, you're just gonna and either walk away or try it again. Come here, dude. Ready? Touch. Yes. Touch. Come on. Come on. Jett, touch. Yes, good boy. And you can kind of see he was like, I kind of did it. I threw my paws at you. Why are you not giving it to me? Being his age, he's got most of it in there, but his age is like, do I have to figure it out? Can I give you this instead? Will this get me a treat instead? And that's where when you've asked a command, nope, let's reinforce. Nope, we're gonna mark it and redirect it to something else. So that way we are reinforcing the command that we do want. The other command that we have is a place command. Now, I teach place as a duration. So it doesn't matter whether it's stay, wait, or place. You can just have to use one. Typically, trainers will teach you all three with very different classifications for all three commands. There's a valid use for those. However, I'm in the mindset of the easier and more simple and lazy we can make training, the more success we as the owners will have. So by teaching place, ideally on a dog cot, but you can also do it on a bed or a rug or something like that. Place, this is where he has to stay on that object and you can walk away. Now, when we train this, we can do distance, distraction, duration, and environments. The 3Ds, or what I like to just call thresholds. Now, Jett doesn't get to come off of that until I give him his release command. We train his name and then the word okay together, so that it has to be the two combinations. If you want to have free, break, release, anything else, let me know and I can maintain it with you. But essentially, Jett, okay! It's an invitation to come up and he gets a reward. Woohoo, we did it, good boy! And then we can do it again. Jett, place. Dude. Good. And then we can walk away. Ideally, you can do this where you drop the leash, you walk away, and oh no, treats fall on the ground. Or, oh no, a toy falls magically from the air. Whee! And he has to stay on that place command. Honestly, you guys could do this in your backyard. You do a place command while there's golfers in the backyard, or you guys are in the pool and he has to place with that. Okay, and when it's time, then he gets to release, he gets to have the treats, the toy, he gets to hop in the pool, whatever your expectations are okay with. As he's like, yes, I got the toy. Place and leave it are the two commands that I'm gonna tell you have fun torturing your dog in a healthy, positive way. These are commands that really are about mental engagement, mental enrichment, and also testing boundaries. So if I'm going to ask him, Jett, come here, sit, place. Now, you can teach place on the flat ground. Just put him in a sitting or lying down position. Place. The reason why we teach it on an object is that the dog learns three-dimensionally. So once they've learned it from that capacity, then we can fade it out and they can be anywhere. But what I want you to do is then once he's in place, drop a treat, tell him leave it. You can even have fun torturing him where you put that treat right by his paw. Leave it. You're going to be really, really, really mean. Put it on his paw. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. No. Jett. And if he gets it, then you can just reset. Leave it. No. Sit. Good boy. Now, one thing with leave it is if he's staring at that treat and he's not looking up at you, he hasn't given it up. Yes, good boy. So he gave me eye contact, I praised him, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he gets to take the item without a release or a take it command. Good. And you can see, I don't know if you can see fully on the camera, but he's looking at me and then looking at the treat. And he's looking at me and he's looking at the treat. And I'm praising, yes, good boy. No. Yes, good boy doesn't mean I get to have that treat. It's just, yes, you're doing a good job. His tail's wiggling, his head's going up. He's trying to offer me paw because he's like, well, what gets me that? Okay. It's the okay or the release that allows me to have it. Do this with food on the coffee table. Do this with food on chairs. Do this with toys on chairs. I heard someone likes to amputate Barbies. Take a Barbie and put it right by him. The idea is that leave it as a generalized disengagement command. You need to stop what you're doing and check in with the human. Good. The other thing that he does have is a recall, and I might film this in one of our larger playrooms to really kind of show you kind of the expansiveness. But if he is checking something out, it's can he come to you? Now this is where the name game comes into play. Jett, come! Good. Where it's, hey, I need to pay attention. And then also come means you need to get your butt to me now. So how I like to reinforce this, especially if he's barking at the gate, if he is off doing something else, that's where when you pull yourself away from him, notice how he's starting to walk with me. It is, oh, where are you going? Where are you going? What's happening? What's going on? I want to follow. You get a little bit of FOMO. Because they're like, dogs want to be with us. Yes, good boy. And then if we add some excitement, if we add some hand movements, maybe some rubs, woohoo, good boy, yeah! Now we get a completely different dog that's like, I'll run to you. So every time that you call come, you have to make it a party. You have to make it the best entire thing in the world, because why would I come if you're angry at me? Why would I come if you seem upset? But if you're like, yeah, it's the best thing, woohoo! Yeah, now I want to come over and say hi. These are the core skills, besides leash walking, these are the core skills for all dogs. You don't need to have all the fancy other commands. You can, but these are what help reinforce those expectations and that listening skills. Now, the other things that we've been working on with Jett is this task-based training. So I have, and I sent home 2 of these. So one has, like, this one has treats in it. You could put apples. You could put, honestly, anything in this. And then this other one, I don't know if you can see it, kind of, has oregano in it. So when you ask Jett for scent work, ask him for a sit, you're going to offer one of the items to you. So you're going to say, check it. No, check it. Yes, good boy. Now what he's supposed to do is sniff it and then look at you or look away. We're still shaping, not putting our mouth on things. And sometimes when he's overexcited, he just starts throwing paws for everything. Check it. Yes, good boy. He only gets treats when he checks the oregano. We're not quite 100% proof, like we're not 100% where he's doing it consistently every single time. So this is the part that you guys really come into play, is practicing having an oregano, having something else, and offering him a check it command. The more that we reinforce it, the more that we practice this skill, the better that he's going to get at it. I know we did this yesterday with some of your scent containers, and I had to pop open the oregano container. Check it. Jett, check it. You can't eat this. Sit. Check it. Check it. Yes, good boy. Sorry, you guys can't see it. He threw his paw at me. He still tries to nibble on stuff. So like the can is open and he's nibbling it. When we did the glass yesterday, he was like, I'm gonna put my mouth on it. That's something that we gotta shape and work on. Right now, I just want him to associate that when he smells oregano, it's the best thing, and I'm going to get a treat for it. But he has to practice utilizing his nose with it. And he can't lick or touch other things. He's got the concept down, which is a lot faster than I was expecting. But now it's just the consistency of shaping it. I would recommend put a big X on it if you need to, but getting pasta sauce just for Jett's training, getting items that you know that have the oregano in it just for this particular purpose. I heard that he is a pizza stealer. So even practicing having where you know the pizza sauce has oregano in it, let him stiff it. Now the hard part, and this is where that leave it comes into play, he doesn't get to chomp on it. So when I get back next week, that's where we can start working on some food lures to see like, all right, if I have a slice of pizza, are you going to try to eat it or are you actually going to sniff it? If I have a can of tomato sauce, are you going to sniff it or are you going to try to eat it? That's where we start building up his thresholds with that. But we check the oregano and reward with the oregano. The other skills that we have, come here, Jett, is that center command. So essentially you kind of turn your butt to him, hold a treat, come on dude, hold a treat between your legs, And he goes through. Yes. Now, one of the things with this is that when you, I'm trying to get, there we go. So when you get him to come through, try not to have this out here because that's where he'll go through. So when you have the treat right by you, and then when you pull up, that's what's going to get him into either a comfortable standing position or into a sit or a down position. Yes. Okay. Practice having him go through your legs and calling it center. So when he hears center, he knows he needs to go through it. Right now, he hasn't really connected that this, no, is center. Yes. Good. Now, once he's in there, this is where you can practice Jett center. Good. That's where you can practice. Can you stand up a little bit taller? And then with the treat by his nose, can you pivot? Yes. And every time you pivot, you're going to reward him. So it's getting him, it's getting him comfortable being in this position. And if he tries to come out, just give him a negative marker, and yes, good boy. Good. Good. Yay, good boy. Okay. Now what you're noticing is that when I give him an okay, I'm going to take my right leg and just kind of move it over, and he comes around from it. That way he's not going through my legs. He's only stopping kind of right in front of you. Yes, that's good boy. The other thing we were working on is essentially like a spin command or an orbit command. So he's got spin done pretty well. So when you teach this, or when you reinforce it at home, having a treat by his nose, and then think of it like you're a clock. So his nose is at 6 o'clock. We're going to go to 9, then 12, 3, and then 6 again. And the closer you stay to his body, the more success he'll have. Now, one thing with dogs is they do get stuck in their bodies. Yes, good boy. So if we always do it left-hand side, the right-hand side is going to be difficult to work on. So make sure when you practice this, if you do 2 lefts, make sure you do 2 rights. Yes, good boy. And you can call them spin and around or spin, spin. It doesn't really matter right now. I would suggest that you make a decision on what that looks like in the future of what we want to call it. But essentially, once we have that spin down on his body, then we can start sending him around people or around objects. Good. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Or, so is it around you? Jett. Good. Come on. Yes. Or can he go around that object? Ready? Come on. Good boy. So we did it one way. We're going to do it the other way. Jett. Yes. What we're doing essentially is luring. So there's a treat in my hand, and I'm pointing with the treat in my hand, and he follows it as he runs into the chair. Good boy. Eventually, we can take the food lure out of our hand and then just point where we want him. This is where we would tie in around or spin or orbit or whatever we want to call it with this hand signal. But start having him go around things. Start making him spin around it. You can have him go around you, but just know that you're going to have to do a treat lure with whatever directions you're doing. He's not 100% there without it, but that's part of the training process. The center command, he is getting pretty good with it. But try this little times throughout your day. Have multiple people try it with him just to help with that focus. And it doesn't matter who's asking, it's when he's asked for it. The last thing I wanted to put on this video for you guys is the barking. So anytime that he barks, if he's in the car, at drop-off, or at the gate man, if he's at the gate, I want you to use, especially when it's home resources or the car resources, you're going to tell him, leave it. Jett, leave it. Come here. Yes, good boy. Sorry, kid. Using that leave it command and then redirect him to like a touch or sit or something else that is positive. So think of it like a tattletale. So when there is a kid that's like, Miss Teacher, Steve did this, the kid goes to the teacher to get that validation. So when he sees golfers, when he sees a person and he's like, oh, there's a person, what you want him to do, instead of telling the other person to back off, you want him to come to you and say, hey, look, there's a person. So every time he sees the trigger and runs back or acknowledges with you, good boy, that's where, hey, I'm going to reward this. Does that make sense? Let me know if it does or doesn't. He's doing really well. And the public access commands he has down pretty close. It's just getting these task-based skills up and running. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and have a great rest of your day.